Hi everyone, Emma here. I have a very simple leather bracelet to show you. This doesn't get any easier than this. So you do need some components. Now I have been doing some unboxings to show you where you can get these components. So if you're not sure and you like this and you want to make some, then go back to those unboxings. So this leather came from Exotica Leather, and you order it, this flat thick leather you order by the meter, which I think I ordered 10 meters. um, I want to say it was about uh, $2 a meter maybe, so that would have been about $20. So that's actually not too bad. When you look at the price per meter, sometimes it's a bit daunting, but so take a look. I just ordered this one here, but I am having so much fun with it, and it fits a lot of components if you double strand it. So yeah, I might take a look and see if I can get some different colors. In the meantime, here are two other components. Let's enlarge this, that I got on AliExpress. So this is a flower slider. So these slide onto your leather. And then I got a clasp. The flat leather will fit in there. Round leather will fit in there as well. Let me see if I have a piece of round leather to show you. This one is 3 mil, so it's not quite thick enough. Actually, that might work. You could do multiple strands. So you probably want to do 4 strands of the, so if all you have is 3 mil, you would do that. So, but today we're going to use the flat leather for this clasp, and this is how it opens. It's magnetic. This is super cool. So I'm going to make it for my size wrist. My size wrist is 6 3/4, and you have to remember to subtract your clasp, but you have to remember there is some depth in there, so it's not, I think this one measured an inch, so it's not quite an inch that you're going to subtract because you have some distance in there. So normally what I suggest is you add half an inch to your wrist size to give you the bracelet that will fit comfortably. I find that's too big for me, so I like to add just 1/4 of an inch. And then if you think about what's in here, I ended up with a, let me see what I ended up with. I ended up with a 6.5 inch piece of leather. So you're going to lose some of this inside this. So this doesn't get any simpler. I have 2 pieces cut that will fit my wrist along with the clasp. You need some glue to attach them. So I'm just going to put some glue on. I'm gonna put the slider on first. I'll tell you why, because the slider moves around. It's a bit loose. We're gonna glue it once we get everything together and we find the midpoint. So you could do that right away. So you just take both pieces side by side like that. So you can see it's quite loose. So just get that on there. So we're ready to go with that. And this clasp is rounded. So actually, let's take this off. We're going to round our leather. You can do that with your hand like this. It softens it up. You see how it's starting to get rounded compared to the other piece. Or you can use a pen. And I also have a tool that's specifically for that. So just get that softened and turned. Flip it to the other side. And you want to flip it. There's a rough side and a shiny side. You want the shiny side up. So just go through that, soften it. And we're going to glue this in so that it continues in the rounded shape of the clasp. You don't want to do something like this. You want it this way. And you also want this part showing to the shiny side. So there are some little kind of, but I'm sure once you're doing it yourself, you'll see that. There, so that's those guys. So now we can put the slider back on. And you can put a bunch of these sliders, a couple of flowers around. I think it's going to look pretty with just the one. Okay, so let's get our glue. This is easy peasy. Put some glue out. You don't need a lot of glue. And I would suggest you let the bracelet cure overnight before you start wearing it, because it might come apart. But I'll tell you, I've done other bracelets with magnetic clasps, and I'm really surprised. So I'm putting some inside here, and you don't need a whole lot because it is cut quite snug, but you do want it to get in there. So you might put some in and then take a bit out like that. I kind of want some on the end. We'll see. It'll probably push it in. So bring your pieces together flush. Remember your curved side to your curved side. So let's slide these guys in. And it is a bit tight, so you might have to kind of wiggle it around. And you might get some oozing. So you've got some oozing there. We'll get that off, but we want to make sure it's all the way in. There, that looks good. And just fix that slider there. And get a clean toothpick. And just roll your toothpick to grab that glue. And there. That's that side. Now let's get to the other side. I am just going to run both pieces of leather now that it's in, because one might be in a little further than the other, gently, so you're not pulling on it. Maybe hold on to this piece and then slide your fingers along to bring the leather, and you can see one side is just a tick longer. So let me clip that, and you could go across both of them. Actually, I might do that so that I know for sure they're even. There, and get a nice clean edge. I feel like I put enough in there, enough leather on that I don't have to worry. Okay, so now let's put some glue on the inside. So one side, this side is shorter, like the indentation, so you don't have to put as much glue. Let's see if I can get that in there. I might have to get some fresh glue. Let me wipe that off. And this glue is great. If you get it on your closure, don't worry about it. It dries and then it peels off like rubber. Let me get a clean toothpick here. And see if we can get that in without touching the edges too much. This glues. Oh. There. We'll clean it up. Okay, let's get these two edges. And hang on with this finger to your leather so that you're not pulling on the clasp. And these guys. So I think this side, and it could be the leather's thicker. I think one side is skinnier than the other. There, that went in. And smush those guys in, and there's some glue coming out. Let's get that off. There. And just making sure it's all the way in. Okay, that looks... Just checking to make sure. Okay, so the leather is even all the way around. So let's just clean up that little bit of glue. There's none on the back side. There's just some on the clasp. And like I said, it's just kind of peels off like rubber. There. Let me use the other side of this toothpick. And I'm rolling my toothpick to kind of get the glue to attach to the toothpick. And it's just rubbing off these little kind of balls of glue that are starting to dry up. There we go. So now what we can do is we can find the midpoint. So something like this. Maybe over a bit. It's hard to tell because this seems bent a little more than the other side. So you might want to leave it loose, but I think we can glue it. We're going to try. Let's get some fresh glue. This glue dries really fast. You could use a different glue too. So let me... Okay, I'm going to move it over because I'm going to put some glue and then I'm going to slide the slider over top of it. So that's going to maybe right there with the glue. Let's see what we got here. There, I think that should do it. And there is some space. Let me adjust the focus here. There is some space in the spacer, so I'm pushing the spacer up and then sliding it over to the spot. And now that it's on the spot, I'm going to push down on the flower, and that will adhere it to the glue. It does look a bit too far. There. That should do it. So again, I will let this cure, and that should stay in place. And there is this lovely bracelet. What? Now I'm going to gently put it on my wrist to show you. And it just like, I barely touched it. I just kind of went like that and it flicked together. So there is this lovely bracelet. How easy is that? Isn't it pretty? So lovely. So I hope you enjoyed that. That is like the super fastest leather bracelet that I've ever made. And it's gorgeous. And I have some, if you saw the unboxing, I have some gold one of these. Now, I haven't been able to find any gold clasp, but it might not matter because, you know, you don't see both of them at the same time. So it would be nice to match them though. I'm very matchy-matchy. So there you go. Less than 15 minutes for a lovely bracelet. Let me think. You probably, this whole thing costs, the clasp was a little bit expensive, maybe $1. This was probably about 50 cents, so $1.50 and $2. So $3.50 in supplies with your glue. You could make like easily 100 of these and sell them very fast at a sale if that's what you're planning on doing this summer. These will just sell like crazy, and you could charge $20 and still make more than $15. So yeah, something to think about. I have some other sliders, so we'll have to make a few of these guys. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Bye.